All right, greetings and salutations. I am making a platform for Connor. We have a 10-foot high roof ceiling, so I'm trying to make him a platform, be 6 foot up, little tree house inside or a fort inside the house. As you can see, I've got these boards, these shelf boards I'm using as deck boards, and I made this. I didn't want to have to do a ton of support boards, so I went every other one so that this board is supported by these, and this board here is supported by this. So this board, these, so that it's that same way all the way around, so that it should have plenty of support, bracing, and not be extremely heavy. I've got 4x4s that are going to posts that are going to hold this up. Posts are going to go in these corners here. As you can see, I painted so that from this side you shouldn't see bare wood. Once I get this covered and everything, and the 4x4 posts have been painted so that it kind of matches the ceiling a little bit, wood grain, brown, close enough. I didn't paint it real heavy. I wanted a little bit of splotchiness so that it looks like a cabin feel or something, but, nothing fancy. I just covered it so it doesn't just look like regular plywood. Or, 2x4s, and yeah. And I painted the edge of the last deck board. That will go over here. The lip's going to go over a little bit because when I designed it, I was designing it for a certain width, but I decided I wanted to use 3 of these deck boards, and they hang over by a couple inches on each side, but that's okay. That'll fit my purposes. But they'll go from this edge to that edge perfectly. It's just they'll hang over a few inches on each side, which won't be a big deal. That way I don't have to cut them. Otherwise I would have to cut them all the way along. And ripping boards, even though I do have a table saw, I don't like doing it. I don't like using a table saw. So as much as I can get away with not having to rip a board, that's what I'm going to do. So that's what we got so far. Okay, here's the progress I've made on the Connor tower. As you can see, these screws in this deck are flush or beyond flush in the wood, so they're not sticking out and they won't poke Connor. And I did that by using one of these bits. You see it's got a little thing on the end of it, and that thing on the end countersinks the holes. It makes a bevel, and I think you can see an example of one of the holes that I had to back out of because it wasn't supported. And it burrows into the wood slightly, so the screw head goes into and is flush or less than flush or more than flush with the wood. So I got the deck boards on, as you can see, the Connor tower. I've got a few of the supports done. And I painted the base from the side that you're going to see it when it's up in the air. I painted all of that area so you will not see white wood. I want it, and it's not perfectly painted. It's, you're seeing some white and, it's kind of wear marks kind of thing, but I wanted it mostly painted so it doesn't look like that. And now when I see that, I kind of, this should have been painted. I put this on backwards again. Yeah, goofed up. That should have been painted so you won't see it. Well, it's not the end of the world because I put this end on the ground. It should have been this end. Well, mistakes are made. But what I'm doing is I got these 2 done first, these 2 supports, and I put it up on like this, and I put a support here, and then I used that to screw it in to hold here and here, so it was in place, so I can get it in place without having to do much special stuff. And you screw a piece of board in here to hold this up. So once you get this board in place, then you can set this with a support board right here, which I removed, and then you can set it here and here, and then you can screw it in place without any extra help. So that is what I've done so far. And here's a support I'm gonna put, and I'm gonna put a block of wood here so that when I put it on the beam down there, it'll be flush. I mean, it'll be level, and I'll be able to screw it in place without much help. And then I can put on the beam without much help, because I've got a board there. That board I talked about will be supporting the beam while I'm screwing it in place. All right, that's it. Thanks. All right, here's the first platform up. I'm gonna attach another one over the couch there. And I need it to be the post for the new platform, which is right here. You can see I've already got it built. Has to be exact. So when I put the post on the end here, over there, it has to be exact. So what I'm doing is I've got the post here, and I'm using a Sharpie, and I put a spacer where this has to be, and I'm marking it right here so I know where it has to line up on the platform. So that's how I'm doing that. It just takes lots of trials and errors and thinking about these things to get this right. Otherwise, it gets messed up. All right. Okay. Last time you saw this, it was upside down on the table. I got these legs on by putting these wood braces on at the right spot and then sliding this post onto this. And of course, it was upside down at the time. I just didn't think of filming it till now. And I sat it down here, and it sat nice and still so I could put the screws in. So that is how to do a lot of woodworking with heavy stuff if you don't have somebody to help you. Plus, you know, it's a good, this stabilized it really well. So when I sat it down in its spot, they just sat there so I could screw them right in place. So, yep, that's just one more trick. Okay, another tip. You see the ends here of this platform? They're going up here. And what I'm doing is I've got a block to hold it in place, and I have a spacer to, you know, right here. And then I added an extra inch so that I could get these legs slid into place from here. Of course, this whole platform's coming vertical, and it's gonna slide in here, and I'm gonna put another brace in here to hold it. Now this is coming out, this will come out. So when I put it in, these are out. So when I put it in, there's an inch gap here that helps me slide it in place. And then I can just wedge this in to get it at the right height and then screw it in place. This is all because I don't have like 10 people helping me. So it's kind of mostly by myself. I'll help help from my grandson, but that's it. So that's another trick on how to get things in place, is make temporary blocks to hold things up while you're putting it in place, and then you can screw it in properly. Then take the block out. So that's just another tip of something I've learned while doing this. Thank you. Live long and prosper. Okay, so I've got this new section in place. As you can see, I got the thing in here, and then I wedged this up in here to hold it, and then I screwed it in place. So now I can take the wedge out and I can take this board off. Well, here's the nearly finished product. I still got to put some laminate on that top there, the tabletop. And I have to build some shelves for the kitties to get up here. And I'll show that later, but this is what I've gotten done so far. There's the hammock swing, there's the swing. Yeah, pretty much done. There's a ladder to get up there, and the 2 lofts. All right, thank you and enjoy.